Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back today with a very different video. Um, as you know, I've kind of been moving towards some different things in my doll collecting and also my sculpting, and I'm doing sculpting a lot more now. But anyway, I just want to show you another part of doll babies that I'm moving towards, and this is collecting the very old antique dolls, and I'm going to start my first restoration on them. But so I'll show you what I have here. Recently acquired. This is a Shirley Temple look-alike doll. She is about 22 inches, and she is, you can see right here is her soft body, and she's quite dirty. She's made in the 1930s, so she's quite old, little girl. And you see her cloth body there. The rest, her legs and her head, her shoulder plate, her head plate, and her arms and legs are made all of composition material, and that's what they used to use in the 1930s, or even earlier and earlier. And if you can see, I'll give you up close. She's pretty good looking for almost 100 years old. And she's got teeth in there and blue eyes. And composite composition is supposed to look very shiny like that. That's a good thing. And there's her wig. She's got beautiful curls. And her wig is removable, so it just sits on there. And somebody pinned, I'm not going to show it now, but they had pinned all of her curls in the back. So she still has bobby pins in them to keep them stationary and getting messed up. So what I'm going to start doing, and I'll just tell you really quick, composition, if you don't know, was the material. It's pretty hard, but it becomes brittle over the years, obviously. But when it originally was made, it was hard, and it's like made out of sawdust and paper pulp and glue back then. And they put that into a mold that they had, and this is what comes out. Beautiful dolls. And she's even got a little tongue in there, but I was just showing you. And I don't know if this is called crazing. It's when it starts cracking, and that's the paint usually cracking on top. So actually, she's pretty good shape, even though there's a hairline cracks. I kind of like those. So I'm going to keep those on there, but the back of her head is very messed up. That wig is removable, like I said, but the back of her head is very messed up where it's like chunks are coming off. So I'm going to start my restoration with practicing on the back of her head, so that way I don't have to worry about, like messing anything up, I guess you would say. So I'll just be practicing. I'm not going to touch her face or her arms and legs. I'm going to leave them as is because I really like her light crazing. You can see a little light, almost like hairline cracks is what it looks like. So I've got her, so I'll be working on her. And these are her original clothes she came in. You can see this is very almost disintegrating like. So that was on top, and this was underneath. This white, looks like it was handmade. Somebody handmade that little white dress with bloomers. I'm probably going to keep this. I'm not sure if I'll keep that. I'll keep it, but I don't think I'm going to put it back on her. I'm going to wash it and everything, soak it. And here's her shoes and socks, and she had a little red bracelet ribbon with a heart on it. Here is an official Shirley Temple doll. She was made in, I think, 1957. She's plastic. And if you can see her, she's also got teeth and blue eyes. She's made by Ideal, and this is her original dress that she came with, and it's in really good shape. So I will put that back on her, and that's tied around her like a sash almost, or went across her chest. And she didn't have any shoes, but she had the original dress. And she also came with this. It's a raincoat. I don't think that was her original dress, but it was a fashion of Shirley Temple that you could buy separately back then. So that's her little raincoat. And over here, she is not quite an antique doll. She is a vintage doll. I got her from a dear friend that I made at a local doll show in my area, and her sister made her. She's porcelain, and she's a Tyner Boots sculpt. Very sweet. And I have her up here because if you can see, her eyes it's got some glue on it, and her eyes are kind of sinking down a little bit, so I'm going to fix her eyes. So that's why she's up here. And she's not an antique. She's not antique. She's just more vintage. She's not quite as old as these other babies here. And this one, I just love him now. He's a mess. Look how Remember I talked about the crazing. Look how his paint is really cracking very much, and that big crack on his cheek, and he has a huge crack on the back of his head. That's actually cracking through his composition. And I explain what composition is, but it's actually like it's considered wood, so it's like a wood form of wood. So there he is, and he's called Scoodles, and he looks like, if you see, he's familiar. He almost looks like a Cupid doll, and that's what he's supposed to look like. He's so cute. So this is not his original body, but it's a very old body. You can see it's breaking up and disintegrating. So I'm gonna try to. I've already put some cleaner on it. I'm not gonna soak or anything like that. I'm gonna take his stuffing out and refill his stuffing where I can refill it, and I'm gonna put socks, on him and stuff. But I am going to try. I am not going to. His head is not attached, so I don't want to scare you, but. See, that's where you can look, and the paint is coming off, and this is the actual composition. And you can see the molding, you can see the meaning, you can actually see the hair. So that's if you wanted to totally restore him, you would strip all this paint off with a like a razor blade, and then you would totally repaint him, which I'm not going to attempt to do because I really love his original paint. And like I said, I'm just starting out with restoring, so I don't want to mess anything up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave his face as is, and he's washing out because he actually does have a tan colored face, like flesh color. I'm going to leave his original face paint. Look how pretty his eyes are. He's a side glancing eyes. It's all painted as is. And I'm going to talk to some of the other artists that restore. And I may repaint his hair, like paint over what he has. I'm not sure. But I'm not going to, I would like to restore the cracks if I could, possibly. But, so they won't crack anymore. But anyway, I think he's so cute. And this is a cool thing. This is not his original body. The seller just added this really old body, in case you wanted. Look, this was in the body, and it says made in Switzerland. And it's stamped with something, but I can't read that. I don't know if any of y'all could read it. Thorsis, maybe that's what it says. Thorsis at the top. Company, I'm not sure. But it looks like it's other stamps. It says made in Switzerland, and then it says, I think it says Rockabye Baby. That's probably the song. And it's heavy. Here's the other side. It's etched. Switzerland is etched on that side. And that came out of that really old body. So that body is the early 1900s. Maybe to 1920, 30, so at the oldest. So it does sort of work, but not really, because when you crank it, it's like it's stuck and stuff. So if you crank it and then turn it, put a little pressure on it, it will play. But it doesn't really play, but I think it's just cool. So I'm just going to keep it out, and it's real heavy too. It's like super heavy, like a paperweight almost. So I'm just going to keep it out like a keepsake and stuff, because I think it's so cool. So if any of y'all know what that may be, I think it says Thorsis. Can you see that? Thores, Thors Company. Sounds kind of Swiss. And I just want to show you this last doll. This is a reproduction. As you can tell, it's supposed to look like a I believe this is Madame Alexander. I have to look it up on the back. But anyway, this is a reproduction. So she's made to look like a composite doll with her painting stuff. But she was made like in 1994. So, but it's pretty cool because she does really look like a composition doll. Just very new. She doesn't obviously have any of that crazing. I mean, she's not made in the same process. She's like a type of plastic, and painted. So she's not made of real composition, but she's made to look like composition material, which she looks very much. When I first saw her, I was like, oh, I thought she was composition at first. And then I realized, she's much newer looking, and her body and stuff is. So anyway, I realized she was a reproduction doll, but that's pretty cool, I think. And she looks like Cupid too, a Cupid style doll. Anyway, I just wanted to show you, and I recently I'm redoing my studio. So this little section over here, this little, I just got this little shelf. I don't know if you can see it. That's my backyard. this little shelf. I just recently got it like a couple days ago at the thrift store, and it's perfect to go under that window. So all the dolls that I'm currently working on, whether they're vinyl reborns or whatever, I'm going to put them there because I kind of like my little workbench. Just keep them there so I know all the ones I'm working on. And in the little vinyl Shirley Temple, the one standing up there, I'm going to work. I've already cleaned her off. I'm going to work on her hair and get her redressed, so she'll be done. So I don't have to do much more to her. I've already cleaned her. I just have to give her, fix her hair. And then Scoodles, I just love him. He's such a chunky little fella. He's going to take some time to work on. But like I said, I'm actually probably not going to do too much work on him. Maybe put some paint over on his hair, like what he has. And then I'm not going to touch his face. I'm going to ask, and if any of y'all know, if you happen to be, if you happen to restore composition dolls, I'm trying to look for a sealer just to put over his paint, what he has right now, and maybe preserve it. I'm not sure if that's possible, but anyway, if you know anything like that, because I don't want it to crack anymore, but I kind of like the way it is. So, Mr. Scoodles, he's like, looks like a Kewpie doll. He's in the Kewpie family, I think. But I will let y'all go, and I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll be back with you soon with some more videos. Hopefully I'll get back with you. I've done a lot of work on my sculpt, my head sculpt that I'm doing right now. The baby's name is Bethel. It means House of God, which I love that. And I try to pick meaningful names for my sculptures especially. So I'll be back. I've done a lot of progress on that. It actually looks like a baby now and not an old man. So I think I'll be back next video showing you the progress on my sculpture. And I will be eventually turning that into silicone sometime later this year, but I've got a long ways to go. Anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay safe and stay blessed, and I hope to talk to you soon.